Alrighty, and welcome back to the Galaxie studio / garage for another of our tech series. Today we're going to put in a brand new flamethrower billet distributor from Pertronix in a 1968 Galaxie 500 with a 390 FE big block. So the first step on that would be to get her top dead center.
On the number one cylinder.
On the compression stroke.
There you go.
Just going to do that by bumping the engine, and until the rotor lines up in the right place.
Right.
Then we'll probably check. We should probably do the spark plug wires first. Get everything
pseudo lined up and organized. And what we'll be doing for that is we'll be installing the Pertronix complementary spark plug wires that are 7mm. They look like stock, have the fittings already in. There's no cutting, there's no additional work that's required. We just figure out the length as we take off the existing spark plug wires.
Take one off, match it up with the length.
Right, exactly.
Do one wire at a time. That way you don't get confused on your firing order.
Your firing order. Last thing you want to be doing is pulling your hair out trying to figure out why it doesn't.
Why is it running rough?
Flames coming out of the carburetor.
So. Do one at a time, and while we're at it, we've got the complementary flamethrower 2 coil. Very hot.
Good hot spark goes through the wires. Make sure you got a good lead on that.
And let's get started.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, to start off with, to give us some room, I'm going to take the air cleaner off and get an Allen wrench so I can get all these spark plug wires out and ready to start going. What we'll do is I usually start with number one, take one off, put the other one back on. But because on this application we're running so hot, the manufacturer recommends that we bump up the spark gap. I think last time I said the timing, but it's actually a spark plug gap. So we got to redo each plug, bump it up to 44 instead of the stock 34. These things are nice, keeps things out of the way, but small parts and can be an extra step, kind of a pain.
Those magnetic dishes are really good for situations like that.
That's true. I should probably get one. Pulled it off. This plug doesn't look so hot because it's running right next to the head and the cover. I'm probably not going to use this setup. I'll have them come over like stock. I know I've got the
separator for that.
I know I've got one somewhere. So they looked good, but if it's causing damage, time to get rid of it. Got the first spark plug out. We got to re-gap it, but we're also going to use it to check to make sure that we're on the compression stroke. Over here on the distributor, number one's about right there, so we just got to bump it just a little bit, but we need to make sure it's on the compression stroke. You can put your finger over the hole, and when it cranks, it'll push it out because the cylinder's coming up. I don't have a flashlight with me in here, but that's the idea. We're going to pull one wire off at a time, replace it, and put it on the new cap. Make sure that you've got your number one lined up and matched with the cap. That way your order stays. Put a piece of blue tape on there so we don't forget. And this cap only goes on one way. If you flip it around 180 degrees, it doesn't match up, so it has to go on this way. Number one goes with number one, and we'll take off one wire, put it on the new one, do the spark plug, and repeat. Okay, for gapping the spark plug, we know it's got to get wide. We got to open it up rather than closing it. If we wanted to close it, just find a good surface and kind of bend it down. Like I said earlier, we need to gap this to 44. So you take your feeler gauges and it's not going to go in there because it's set at 34. You can take a screwdriver and open that up until the feeler gauge is just slide in there, a slight amount of tension. Or you can use these from your local parts store. Slide it through, and I guess you got to put it on the small end. You slide it in, and this will help open it up as well, and you bring it around to the proper gap, which would be 44 right there. So with the spark plug all cleaned up, put it in. The hole, always start it by hand. You don't want to cross thread something like that. That's a big dollar item to get retapped. Obviously a torque wrench would be in order, or it's kind of a feel as well. New wire set for this application. It's already the right mesh, went up to the right length, and we'll worry about place, we might have to move a couple around or something so it looks right, but that's number one, and we're just gonna walk it around, do one by one till all 8 are done. We're about halfway done. Get a wire off, match it up to the original length, and just put it back where it goes. We're getting ready to get a little bit more into the electrical side of stuff, so before you do any electrical work, always disconnect the battery. So, and remember what your firing order is, just in case. Okay, we're almost ready to pull the distributor. Couple key things. I've made a mark of where the rotor needs to end up at, straight across, as well as for the vacuum advance. So that way we know that we've got it back in the right place. So it's just a matter of taking off the electrical and pull it out, put the new one in, connect the coil, and that easy. Okay, we went ahead and took the coil out, just a couple wire connections and stuff. Make sure to make a note of what goes where, so you can put it back, but as far as the coils, just take the wires off, put the wires back on. While you're at it, make sure it's everything all nice and clean and ready to go. Alright, so pull it out. Hopefully it'll just come right out, but watch the
rotor.
Thank you. See how it turns? It's because of the gear on the bottom. We want to make sure that we drop the distributor in on the same tooth. So making a mark so I can drop the new one in, start here, and then have it end at my mark here. That's it. So set of engine oil, some engine assembly lube, get it down, grease it up real good. Don't want nothing breaking when you start it up. Okay, so the whole idea is to have it go back in the same place. So started about there.
Now we gotta make sure we seat the oil pump shaft, which is probably going to be the final drop down where it meets the intake manifold.
And that's why we're not going any further.
Right. Gonna take a little work.
So I got it to fit, but if you look at my mark, I'm one tooth off. So I got to pull it back out, start it back over here until it's meeting the mark. because right now it's just wrong. You know, I mean,
We're close.
we're close. I mean, we
1, 2. It's not too bad.
right.
We'll try it again.
You know, I've seen plenty of people that have, you know, redone ignition wires and stuff like that, and redo the timing because they got it off by one. But it's just
That's not the right way to do it.
not the right way. So we'll pull it up. Try to get that. Come on, oil pump. Be nice. Okay, before you break something, out of frustration, walk away. Take a breath. I was on the right tooth, but it's not seating all the way. This needs to be flush, so it's not engaging the oil pump shaft like it should. We need to rotate that oil, well, the shaft for the oil pump goes. You can probably get in there with a screwdriver, use the old distributor to get it to turn a little bit. I'm fortunate enough, this was a distributor that I had a buddy that had access to a machine shop. They milled it down, so this will engage the shaft and rotate it a little bit. This is really good for priming an engine. Check your drill motor on there, and it'll get things lubed up and primed. So hopefully that will put us in a new position. We'll pop, and then we'll try it again. That's it. Yep.
So it's good enough to get it started, then we can do the fine tuning. Where's the advancing?
Well, I marked that too.
There you go.
So that's it. That's
what we have to work with.
Yep. So we'll put the clamp back on. Get the coil hooked back up. Put some solderless connectors on these. Red goes to positive, black goes to negative, and then the other wires that we took off. And super clean, super simple installation, except for that pump. But you know, it happens. Okay, when dressing it back up on this particular engine, the firing order ends with 7 and 8, and you don't want to run them together. Make sure that you get a wire in between them. That would go for any other application where you know, the firing order is like right next to each other. But on the Ford FE, that's how it is. Well, it goes on super simple. Little trick for you. When on a stock one, the coil's facing, where am I?
Facing the firewall.
Yep. On stock, it's facing the firewall, but it makes it so the hard to get to the wires. Just turn it around. Yep. You're running new wires anyways, so make it easy. Keep it simple. And so I'm just going to cut a couple inches off. I want to make sure I've got plenty of wire, but you know, also want to keep it kind of tidy looking as well. So just a quick cut. That looks good. Little solderless terminal. Get a nice good one. To clean it up, you can wrap it with some tape or wire loom, or if you want it really clean, you get one that you just solder right on. But this is going to get covered up, and it's going to go right on the positive side. Do the same with the negative. Put the nuts back on, then connect up the wire, reconnect the battery, put the last stuff on, and time and tune. Get it nice and snug. Did pretty good. We didn't drop one.
Well,
And we didn't drop anything down to the valve, down to the valve cover. Nice, perfect fit from the manufacturer, Pertronix. Thank you. So getting everything set up for timing, which you can check out a previous video on how to time, because we dialed the Galaxie in last week so that we wouldn't have too much to do this week. Okay, as you can tell, timing was a little off, but we're close. We'll get it. Okay, I've got my timing marks lined up. Seems like it's running fairly smooth. We'll get it tightened up and make sure the idle's set correctly and all that good stuff. So that was about 2 hours.
2 hours installation time. No more points. No more dialing the gap for the points.
No dwell.
No dwell, exactly.
Other than the oil pump shaft.
Dropped right in.
Yeah. Just took a couple times. Minimal use of tools. I mean, nothing really all that fancy. And easy to do. Hot spark. I highly recommend taking your stock one, however, putting it in a box, tag it, store it. I have very high confidence that I'm going to have this Pertronix forever, but
Great products.
you don't want to get rid of something like that. You go on a long trip or something.
Right. Something might happen.
Something might happen. Stash it in your trunk. Might have another engine application down the line and need a distributor. Then you go, oh, I needed that thing. So store it, bag it, tag it, forget about it.
There you go.
But this Pertronix is going to be here for a very long time. So thanks for viewing. Thanks for Pertronix. You can hit them up at their website. Tons of stuff.
Pertronix.com.
Not just distributors.
Oh, there's exhaust, ignition system. There's plenty of exhaust to look at on that website.
Oh yeah.
All your applications.
Great guys. We'll be seeing them at SEMA and probably MPMC again this year.
Hopefully, yes.
And until next time, my name's William.
This is Davis.
Don't skimp on the primer.